Hey, this is Steven with Outbox Sound. I have a question for you. Have you ever gotten a bad mix from your last engineer? Or if you're working on a new project, are you unsure how to find a good one? Spoiler alert, it's not always about the engineer you found on the internet and whose credits look cool. In this video, I'll show you 4 mistakes to avoid to ensure that your next mix is your best mix. By watching this video, you'll get a better understanding of how to choose an engineer to finish your projects with less headache and in less time. But before we get into this video, I have a free guide that's gonna help you find the best engineer for you. Simply click the link in the description to get your copy. Okay, mistake number 1, you don't actually know what you want. The first thing you wanna do when you're talking to an engineer that's interesting is set up a creative call. Most engineers are actually gonna wanna do this in the first place. And in that meeting, you can discuss things that matter. You can talk about NDAs. Some projects require that. You wanna have a clear project deadline and understand if they're able to meet it. Engineers love deadlines, even if they don't tell you they do, because it actually helps them work better. I know for me, when I'm under a little bit of pressure, I work more instinctually and just go for the feel versus all the technical stuff. You want to make sure you give them any rough mixes that you might have, any song references that matter for this song or project, and then any other notes you might have about the feel you're going for, describing the instruments and sounds and things like that. This keeps things orderly and goal focused and make sure you don't get sidetracked with unnecessary stuff. Another piece to this is you want to find out their workflow. Are they working with analog? Are they working with digital? Does it even matter? This will speak to your vision and it'll eliminate any other engineers that might not fit within what you're looking for sonically. Know what's acceptable to you. Engineers often have their own minimum requirements, things relating to file formats, naming conventions, how you deliver files to them, how they're gonna deliver mixes back to you. You have to understand how all of these things work and if it works for what you're trying to do. This is gonna ensure mutual success, and engineers have these requirements. You gotta understand this. They have these requirements to just make the job go smoother. They wanna make sure the technical stuff is out of the way and that they can focus on giving you the highest quality product. Mistake number 2, thinking you need the least or the most expensive engineer. You don't really need the most or the least expensive. You really need somebody that understands you and your vision. This is critical. Usually the higher the price the engineer is, the less time you have to spend babysitting them and nitpicking with notes and things like that. They generally understand that feel is the most important thing. You wanna make sure you ask questions to understand if they can actually do that. The higher the price and the more money you're paying, this matters even more. Mistake number 3, not understanding that their portfolio is not everything. An engineer might have mixed a song that matches your sound to the T, but this doesn't mean that they're a good fit for working with you. The goal is to ensure the best quality and the best experience. Portfolio is a good way to understand if they're comfortable in your niche. You know, they can speak the language and things like that, but this should be a minimum requirement. Because just because they mix the song great in your genre, it doesn't mean they'll be able to approach your song the right way. What matters most is how an engineer hears things and if that lines up with you. If you guys hear things differently and interpret sounds and how things correlate, it won't work. And this leads me to mistake number 4. But before we get there, just as a reminder, as I go through this video, I have a free guide that you can simply download by clicking the link, and it'll give you tips and suggestions for how to assess and feel out your next engineer. Just click the link and download your copy today. So, mistake number 4, not doing a vibe check. This is arguably the most important part out of all of this. This should generally seal the deal for you. Think of picking your engineer similar to like a job interview, just less formal. You want to get to know your engineer a little bit. Yes, you want to understand their qualifications and if they can do the job, but you want to ask questions and, most important, listen to them. Most people like being listened to. Simple as that. If you let them discuss what their thoughts and philosophies are for a little bit. Not saying take 2 hours and talk to them. If you take a little time and pay attention to them, you'll get to know them. You can discuss your genre. You can discuss events happening with artists in your genre. You can discuss your inspirations and your philosophy relating to the music you're trying to do. At the end of the day, audio and music is not just a robotic exchange. It's not like walking in the store and buying a shirt, paying them money, and leaving. It's about feeling, and you got to understand music is a deeply personal endeavor. How things feel should trump all the technical details. Art is simply not a cold business exchange. But at the end of the day, all of this doesn't matter if your song is not ready to be mixed in the first place. So check out my next video on how to prepare your song for mixing. And remember, click the link in the description for your guide on how to pick your next engineer. Hope it helps. Have a good one.